The 11th Sutra of the Kaivalya Pada is another masterpiece of understanding the continuity of and the maintenance of the various actions, thoughts, and life itself. That is the analysis of this wonderful sutra. Sutra number 11. Hetu phalashrayālambanaihi samgrihitattvādeshāmabhāvo tadabhāvaha. Hetu phalashrayālambanaihi samgrihitattvādeshāmabhāve tadabhāvaha. Hetu is the cause, the reason. Hetu is the cause, the reason. Then phala ashrayatvam and alambanaihi. Hetu phala ashrayaha alambanaihi samgrihitatvat esham abhave tad abhavaha. Hetu is the purpose, the cause, the reason. Phala is the result, effect, cause and effect. Hetu and phala. Traditionally, karya, karana. In the Vedanta, the terms are used. And here it is hetu, phala. Ashraya. Ashraya is, the correct meaning for ashraya is a safe place to stay, a place of refuge, or here it means a reservoir, a storehouse. Alambanam, alambana is the support. How the support comes, that is called alambana. That which supports. Samgrihitatva. Samgrihitatva is togetherness. Held together. Bound together. Binding together. Glued together. Samgrihitatva. Isham, of all this, abhava is absence, the disappearance. Tad is the there. Of course, again, abhava, absence. Hetu phala ashraya alambana samgrihitatvat esham abhava tad abhava. That is the sutra. What does it mean? Means the binding together of the cause and effect and its reservoir are supported. And if the support is removed, they also drop. And what is that which is supported? It is, we have to go to the previous sutra, where the word sutra is used as ashisha. Ashisha. Ashisha is all the desire to exist. And the continuity of the desire to exist is held together, is bound together by three things. Hetu, phala, and ashraya. The cause, the effect, and the storehouse. And these three or the alambana for the ashisha, the desire to continue. So the desires, all the desires, they continue, they depend, or they are bound together, they are held together, they are glued together because of the three things: cause and effect, and the place of reservoir. Place of reservoir means where the samskaras stay, where the vasanas stay, the storehouse of the vasanas. Now the sutra is clear. The continuity of the desires is maintained, or the desires are held together, bound together, samgrihitatva, because of three: the cause and the effect, and the place of storehouse of the samskaras. And if these three are removed, the alambana is removed, abhava of the alambana abhava, samgrihita abhava comes. When the support is removed, the togetherness also gets dropped. The binding factor gets dropped. The binding factor is because of the hetu, phala and ashraya. And hetu, phala, ashraya is supporting the samgrihitatva. And the samgrihitva is maintained, continued, strengthened by these three things: hetu, phala and ashraya. And if the hetu, the cause and effect and the storehouse of the samskaras removed, means the alambana, the supporting pillar is removed, the binding of the desires, samgrihitatva, also drops. That's why the word abhava comes twice. Disappearance of the alambana results in disappearance of the togetherness of the desires. Desire after desire comes. One desire becomes cause for the other desire. One desire is the hetu, another desire is the phala. And the phala result will become the hetu for the other result. This hetu phala continues. And by the continuity of the hetu phala of the desires, the samskaras, the vasanas come up, and they have a storehouse, they continue to be there. So this circle, this vicious circle of bondage of the hetu, phala, ashraya of the ashas are supported, alambana, and the samgrita will be broken by this thing, by removing the desires. How beautifully a practical dimension Maharshi Patanjali gives. So the vasanas form a continuous stream, and no release from the bondage is possible without their destruction. How can there be a Kaivalya if the desires are continuous? The answer to this question, of course, we have already studied in the second chapter, the second pada, when we studied in the kleshas, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. And we saw that the cyclic process of manifesting, the cyclic progress of manifested life begins with the association with these five things. The kleshas become the cause for the continuity, and that's why it's a klesha. And that is to be broken. And the cause for the continuity is the support. and the support is to be removed. So Hetu, Phala and Ashraya supports the togetherness of the vasanas. Cause, there can be the cause for doing an action itself is a bondage for the action. The result of the work and the action itself will be a supporting for it. And taking an umbrage, to perform an action, to a work itself is a cause. All these three things, the samskaras become the reason, cause, and because samskara is the cause, the hetu, another samskara will come, and that becomes the cause for the other one, and another samskara is produced. So this is a vicious circle. And Patanjali is not Patanjali suggesting, he is not Patanjali presenting in front of us the cause of the miseries, the cause of the dukkha karana, the kashta karana is to be free from these three things. Abhava of these three things will be the abhava of the samgrihitatvam. And that is a very important dimension. And this is exactly what we talk about the Karma Yoga beautifully in the Bhagavad Gita. Not to have ashraya, phala apeksha, phala ashaya, karma apeksha, karma ashaya. And as long as we have that desire for the result, that creates a cause for the other one. And that is how the nishkama karma, asanga karma is a very, very important dimension, not only in the Bhagavad Gita, even in this particular series of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. If the Vairagya is the alambanam, suppose if the Vairagya is the alambanam, then other things will drop down. And that is a very important dimension, that the desires, the circle of desires, the cycle of desires is broken only by the supporting feature out of it. And that is beautifully presented in this particular sutra. Hetu, phala, ashraya, alambanaihi, samgrihitatvat, esham, abhave, tad abhavaha. Swami Vivekananda wonderfully concludes this particular sutra. Swamiji, these desires are held together by cause and effect. If a desire has been raised, it does not die without producing its effect. Then again, the mind stuff is the great storehouse, the support of all desires, past desires, reduced to samskara form. Until they have worked themselves out, they will not die. Moreover, so long as the senses receive the external objects, fresh desires will arise. If it be possible to get rid of these, then alone desires will vanish. Abhava of the alambana of the hetu, phala and ashraya will result in the abhava of the samgrihita. Desires are eliminated by that which is supporting the cause, the result and the samskaras. How beautifully Patanjali presents it in this particular sutra, in this Kaivalya Pada. Let us see the further sutras. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.